So we are working on that right now.
Yeah. So we'll just hold on for a while. That's okay.
Okay, I think we're back.
Okay, I'm going to proceed as though we are. And we haven't gotten any phone calls. Right, Mr. Harris?
No.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Minutes are approved. We have proclamations, honors, awards, and resolutions of recognition. Council Resolution number 34, 2020. Mr. Harris.
Yes, Mr. President. A resolution of the Council of the City of Lancaster recognizing commending Sheila Pietro, sorry, I'm going to butcher that, for her 33 years of service to the Lancaster office of the Church World Service and her inestimable contributions to refugees from around the world who, with their help, have made Lancaster their home.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. I'll hear a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Great. We have a motion and a second. We discussed this at the committee meeting. It's very straightforward. This is the, per capita refugee capital of the United States. And that's probably one of the ways in which we've most been able to live up to our stated values as a community, and that's absolutely been a team effort. But I believe if any one person could be credited, it would be Mrs. Mastro Pietro above many others. And with her coming retirement from Church World Service, I thought it worthwhile for the City of Lancaster to recognize her efforts and her decades of service officially. Council comments.
Ditto. No comment.
The only comment that I would make, Mr. President, same one as I had during the committee meeting. Sheila actually provided me the opportunity to have my first job at Church World Service right out of college. And I kind of credit my time at Church World Service to all the social services work that I've done. And I don't necessarily think that our community would be everything that we value if it wasn't for the way that we've embraced our refugee community, neighbors, families, and friends. And like you said, it's not one person, but at the end of the day, there are many pillars and she's one of them.
Absolutely. Great. We'll wait at this moment for comments from the public. I don't imagine there will be any on this item, but just the same.
Council, would you commenting on the resolution?
All right. Hearing none. Mr. Harris.
Well, I think there were people that were planning to call in for this resolution, Mr. President.
Can we, who were those people? Do we know?
No, I don't know.
All right. Well, then,
Mr. President,
yes, Councilor Garcia Molina.
I believe that some people were confused as to there being two different phone numbers to call for tonight. Can we just clarify which phone number they're meant to call tonight?
City Council meeting.
As soon as
I'd like to give comment for Sheila's Master Pietro's resolution request.
Carrie.
Certainly, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Stephanie Gromick, and I am an employee of CWS and of Sheila. And I would just like to just give my highest regard for her leadership over the past, by the time she retires, it's going to be 33 years. And to just note my sincere appreciation for all that she has contributed to the Lancaster community.
Well, hey, Stephanie, this is Council President Smith Waddell. Thank you so much for calling in. And yeah, I think you would know better than most the depth of Sheila's contribution. So I think it's good to hear that directly from someone like you.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Have a good evening. Do we have any other callers, Mr. Harris?
We just ended that call. Let's see if another one comes.
All right.
Someone's mentioning they can't hear.
City Council meeting.
This is Christina Hartman calling to weigh in on the current status of Sheila's acknowledgement.
Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. This is Christina Hartman calling. I'm an advisory board member for Church World Service, and I just wanted to acknowledge Sheila Mastropietro's amazing work for our community and for this organization and for refugees. Thanks to Sheila's 30-plus years of service in the Lancaster community, but also to refugees, she has made truly an amazing difference in the lives of so many, and we are just so grateful. Lancaster is known as a hub for refugees in the United States of America because of Sheila's work, and she's taken that on in, sort of just in the service of others, in the truest sense of the words. And while I know that there's many folks like Stephanie and others who helped to make that happen in many over decades, it is because of Sheila's leadership that Lancaster, Pennsylvania is known as the refugee capital of the United States of America, and we will sorely miss her leadership in the organization, but also in our community, and I just want to say thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think I got most of that. Yes, Ms. Hartman, thank you so much for your comments. I don't think I have anything to add that you haven't already added, but thank you for calling in to support Sheila and her work.
Thank you.
Mr. Harris, I'm sure you heard Councilor Diaz's comment. Whether this is immediate or in an ongoing fashion, my imagination is that by the time it gets to the live stream, it's probably fairly challenging for people to be heard on the phone. So whatever we can do about that.
Another call, Mr. President.
They've made,
City Council
the
meeting.
comment was they can't
Hi,
hear.
this is Dick Meyer. I tried to get to public comment, but it's been busy, so I just got on now.
We're not at the public comment portion yet.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Is that in a couple minutes?
Yes, call back in a few minutes.
I heard you, Councilor Diaz. Give me just a second.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry, Mr. President.
Who was that, Mr. Harris?
That was somebody calling in for public comment.
Okay, well, if you just called in for public comment, we will get there. Councilor Diaz said that she saw a comment that somebody said not only can they not hear people calling, but they're struggling to hear anything on the YouTube live stream. Is that correct, Councilor Diaz?
Yes, sir.
I'm not over there at the command center with you, but are the microphones all good? Is there something we can?
I thought the microphones are good, but I will check I'll check the live stream input.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Harris. And if you can hear me, thank you to everyone for bearing with us. Can we? And yeah, I think you would know better than most the depth of Sheila's contribution. So I think it's good
On the current status of Sheila's acknowledgement. Hi, everyone. Good evening. This is Christina Hartman calling. I'm an advisory board member for Church World Service, and I just wanted to.
Okay. We'll proceed for now. Thank you for. Oh,
Hello, I want to make a public comment.
We're not at the public comment portion of the meeting yet.
Okay, thank you.
So That was another public comment, Mr. President.
Okay, we will get to public comment in just a second. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Okay, and thank you, Councilor Diaz. Okay, so if there are no other public comments on this resolution in particular, Mr. Harris, I would ask you to call the vote.
Council meeting.
Nope.
Sorry, I didn't have anyone on the line there, apparently, Mr. President.
All right, Mr. Harris, would you please call the vote?
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Royer.
Aye.
Ms. Baker?
Aye.
Ms. Craig?
Aye.
Ms. Diaz? Ms. Diaz?
Aye. I didn't hear you.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Bernie.
Sorry. Mr. Garcia Molina?
Aye.
Mr. Soto?
Aye.
And President Smith-Waddell?
Aye. So if you're watching, if you happen to be watching this, Sheila, thank you so much. If you called in for public comment on this matter, thank you so much. We'll be getting a copy of this resolution over to Sheila and Church World Services. All right. We now move into the public comment section of this meeting. This is the first public comment period reserved for those who have called the city clerk ahead of time to request the opportunity to address city council. I believe we have a few of these tonight. A reminder that the duration of comments is limited to 3 minutes, and if you would please start by telling us your name and the street that you live on. Mr. Harris, who do we have lined up this evening?
I've got one right now, Mr. President.
Oh boy.
City Council meeting. City Council meeting. City Council meeting. City Council meeting.
Yes, hi, this is Irene Rivas.
Yes.
Yes, is this a good time, or?
This is the appropriate time for public comment, so you're allotted 3 minutes. Please proceed.
Okay, great, thank you.
I'm sorry, can you hear?
Yes, I'm here.
Not really.
I had a public comment regarding the water and sewer situation and why there will not be like an appeal process if there is an issue with a water bill or a dispute with a water bill pertaining to a water meter that they had changed by Grid 1 that ended up costing me more than $2,500 when a normal bill should be about $300, between $250 and $300. When a normal bill should be about $300, between $250 and $300. Yes, my normal water bill would be between $250 and $300, but after Grid 1 came in, they estimated, from what I was being told, for most of the year for 3 quarters, and they seemed to be normal because the average bill was between $250 and $300. However, after Grid 1 was changed and they replaced the meter, then I received almost a $2,500 water bill, and now they're threatening to turn off the service if the water bill is not paid. So I just proceeded paying what I normally use, and I did check with the meter shop. They had taken a photo of it, and it appears from the photographs that they had taken to check the meter that it was all rusty, and somebody must have put some kind of tape, electrical tape around it. So it appears from the photograph that they shared with me that this meter was defective prior to them changing it. And the problem is I have no other recourse. I can't go to the Public Utility Commission as you would with any other utility. And going through the city does not seem to, there's no recourse or there's no appeal process, and there's nothing that they're willing to do for me, even though this is unusual, extremely unusual high water bill from a defective meter.
Bernie, we can't hear anything.
Okay.
It is totally garbled and we can't hear anything.
It seems like I have a feedback loop going here.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing as well.
If you could ask whoever, the woman that called, to hold on for just a moment.
Okay.
I'm hearing it, somebody else on the call, I'm actually hearing it more clearly from somewhere else than I am through Bernie's. I don't know if somebody was unmuted and listening to it on their phone. I don't know if that was you, Patrick, that I was hearing it through, but I have the gist of your comment, ma'am, but we could not hear it with clarity. Do we have a fairly rapid fix for this, Bernie or Patrick? I believe we have several more public comments on this issue, or on the agenda.
I'll take a look again.
All right, thank you.
Is so what was the comment? I mean the response, or
the audio is audible through YouTube. It is when you were trying to listen to, and part of that was my fault because I had my audio on and I didn't have myself muted here.
okay.
But that said, the sound when it comes through that phone and then coming into Zoom just does not work well. I've been texting with Amber, and we need to modify this whole process to have public comment coming in through people calling directly into the Zoom meeting number rather than do it through that phone in the commission room, because that's clearly not a good long-term solution. It's not even a good short-term solution.
Okay,
Able to give at least our scheduled public commenters the ability to call into the Zoom call at this juncture, that is to say now?
Yes, because we can, from the invite that Bernie sent, there are numbers in that email that I'm looking at now. So the number to call would be 929-436-2866.
I'm
And
sorry,
when
could you repeat that?
Someone
Was
calls,
that for me?
they will come into the waiting room, and then Bernie can accept them from the waiting room into the meeting to make their comment.
Great. Mr. Hopkins, would you please
What was
repeat
that number again? I apologize.
Sure, it's 929
Okay.
436 2866.
Excellent. Mr. Harris, I know we've been going back and forth. If you would ask the young woman on the phone to call back in using that number, we'll try to give her comment the time that it's due. We apologize, ma'am. Thank you. And
Okay,
thank you,
but I
everybody,
have
for bearing with. I know we've got a lot. We've got a lot to work through this evening.
362866? Is that doesn't seem like there's enough numbers, or isn't in that out of state area code 929-362-866? Is there another number?
I don't know. I'm checking that number now.
It seems like I'm one short if it isn't out of sound number.
Sorry, Patrick. What's that number again?
The number is 929 436 2866. 666.
Okay, I was pressing the
Do you
4.
have anything additional?
Okay, I got that. And we are to call that number when?
Perhaps. I have not called in that way.
You can call that number, you can try calling that number in now.
You
Okay,
shouldn't
now?
need video
Okay.
capacity to call into Zoom.
Right.
Okay, I'll call that number in now.
But they may
Should I
need a
hang up?
separate meeting ID
Okay.
to get to us.
Mm,
Which is in the invite and email.
mhm.
And Bernie should have that since he sent it to everybody, so. Do you see it, Bernie?
I'm sorry, Mayor?
Do you see the email that you sent out with the Zoom link should have those numbers in it?
I sent that out, I'm pulling that email up.
I added it to the chat box, Bernie, so you can just look on there. It has all the Zoom information.
All right, great. So now it's up on the screen for people to see.
Or talk until the host.
Bernie, you have to enter the meeting ID and password in order to jump on the call.
The meeting ID and the password are displayed on the screen now.
Is council president on the phone with them?
Yes, I called Mrs. Grievous, who was our public commenter, and just, tried to walk her through.
Mr. President, I believe from what I could hear, she was speaking in regards to a faulty meter and what the recourse.
Yeah, her water bill, and I think at the end of the day, I'm going to point her to either Mr. Campbell or Mr. Hopkins.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, Mr. Hopkins, if you would, do you have the list of our public commenters, or do you just you have that, Bernie?
I
Trying
have
to think I'm trying to think if we can, while Miss Grievous is calling, we have a way to reach out to our other scheduled public commenters. We're contacting the NAACP, who I know is scheduled to speak tonight. As we do that, I think the mayor's doing that right now. Okay. Again, thank you to everybody for bearing with. I am looking through my email now, Mr. Harris. I am going to reach out to Mrs. Bickmeyer briefly
City
as
Council
we
meeting.
wait for our next call to come in.
City council meeting.
This is Jean Bickmeyer. Can you hear me?
call from Ms. Bickmeyer.
Oh,
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not sure what phone I'm supposed to use. There was some confusion about which one to call for public comment.
Yes. Yeah,
yep. Mr. Harris, could you have Ms. Bickmeyer? Ms. Bickmeyer, if you can hear me, please hold on. We have some information. You should call directly into the Zoom call, and we're going to get you some info by which to do that, because we can't really hear through the system this evening. My apologies.
Okay.
So Ms. Bickmeyer, if you could call 929-436-2866.
All right. Is that 209, did you say?
No, 929.
929. 436-2866. Is there a password?
Yes, it is. Password is 472919.
Okay. And can I call that now and wait?
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Harris, it appears that we have 2 calls.
Yes, we do. There's a call that is...
Hold on, Mr. Harris. Ms. Folk, you're with the NAACP, correct?
Yes, sir.
Hi. We have a couple of public commenters ahead of you. If you would, as you know, we're having some technical challenges. If you would bear with us for a second and put yourself on mute, as soon as we get through these other 2 calls, we'd be very excited to hear what you say.
For sure. No problem.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Harris. Go on.
That's all right. And the other callers, can you identify yourselves, please?
Irene Rivas.
Okay, Ms. Grievous was speaking earlier and is now calling back.
Great. Who's the other caller?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
This is Brian Sykes with Ferguson Well. I dialed in to represent Lancaster General Hospital and the ED project.
Oh, we're not quite there yet.
I just dialed into my phone because the audio is a better quality than through my computer, that's all.
That's exactly right, Brian, if it's okay that I call you Brian. I'm just going to ask you to mute yourself for now.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you. Ms. Grievous, thank you so much for bearing with. Please go ahead.
Worries. Yeah, no worries. The reason for my comment was pertaining to the water billing and why there's not an appeal process as any other utility would have, like the Public Utility Commission. And they had to do through Grid 1 when they had changed the meters, the